Hi, good morning. This is Jerry K. Poppers. Jerry K. Poppers in another episode of English for beginners. Okay, I'm here at CIS Centro. English for beginners. I'm celebrating my video number 100. 100 videos in my channel, Jerry K. Poppers. I'm going to commemorate it with this class. We're going to talk about frequency adverbs. Okay? Well, frequency adverbs can be several. We have always. Always is 100% of frequency. We have normally, frequently, usually, often. All of them mean 75-80% of frequency. But before is almost always. Okay? So let's write them here. We have always, that means always is 100% of frequency. Okay? Now we have almost always. Almost always is about 98% of frequency. And then we have, after always and almost always, we can say frequently or usually, often, normally, okay, normally, and frequently, usually, often, normally, they mean 75-80% of frequency. What else? Then we have sometimes. Sometimes means 50% of frequency. After sometimes, we have a very extreme jump to rarely. Rarely is 10% of frequency. Then we have almost never. You can say almost never or hardly ever. Hardly ever. Both of them mean just 2% of frequency. At the end, we have never. Never means 0% of frequency. So, again, we have always 1% of frequency, almost always 98% of frequency, and then we have frequently, usually, often, and normally 75% of frequency, sometimes 50% of frequency. Then we have rarely 10% of frequency, almost never, and hardly ever 2% of frequency. At the end, never 0% of frequency. Okay? Well, let me explain that these frequency adverbs help us to establish or to mention the intensity or the frequency we do an action. Okay? Let me explain the rule. You know that in the sentence we always start with she or you or I or we or he or they or it, any kind of subject. But any subject needs a verb. When we want to construct a sentence, okay, she eats I don't know, she eats eggs and beans when she has breakfast every morning. So, but when we want to mention the frequency, she eats something in the morning or every day, we can use a frequency adverb. When we have these verbs and those verbs are not verb to be, the frequency adverb goes before the verb. Okay? So it's between subject and verb. Okay? For example, she always eats cereal in the morning. You sometimes drink coffee in class. I usually go to work by bus. We often dance at parties. Okay? So this part is when we don't have a normal verb, when we have just verb to be. When we have verb to be, frequency adverb is not before, is after verb to be. For example, he's always tired at night. They're sometimes on time in class. It's rarely common in my town. Is, for example, does it snow in Merida? No, it's rarely common in my town. It's never common in my town. When we have this kind of frequency adverb, never, the explanation is like this. In affirmative, never has to be written in an affirmative sentence. I never get up at 11. It means that I don't get up at 11. So we can't join never and don't because it's double negation. Okay? If I don't never get up at 11, it means that I get up at 11. Okay? So, and originally I didn't want to say that I get up at 11. I wanted to explain that to me it's not usual to get up at 11. So if I'm going to use never, it's in an affirmative sentence, but with a negative idea. I never get up at 11. Or if I don't want to use never, it's just with the auxiliary in negative. I don't get up at 11. Never do this. Never put the auxiliary down or doesn't and never together. Because talking about mathematics is minus times minus is positive. Okay? So don't do double negation. Well, until here my video, I hope you enjoy it about frequency adverbs here at Six Poniente, commemorating 100 videos with Jerry K. Popper's channel, English for beginners. Subscribe, give me like and share. Bye.